What is going on, everybody? Back with another prize picks video. This one I'm going to be breaking down the first 6 pick flex that I did lock and did send over to the VIP for the WNBA action tonight. Excited to get into if you tuned into the last video. Hey man, the picks went really well. We went 5, 4, 6, but unfortunately Clark Schmidt just made one too many bad pitches. Looked pretty good overall throughout that game, but it was the one or two bad pitches, the one or two counts that just got too deep. You couldn't quite find the strike zone that ended up costing us the full sweep on that one. That was some MLB talk. We're going to be talking WNBA today, but if you're looking at the screen, you're like, why did you take these picks? These videos are going to be very helpful to break down my entire process and reasoning behind every single pick that I place. So we'll be going through the full 6 pick flex that I played here today. Like I said, unfortunately, Schmidt hooked this last video, which has been the theme of the week for us as far as myself. And over in the VIP last night, we had 2 hooks as well, man. Once again, if you're looking at the screen, you're like, why did you take Conley's under PRA, Gobert's under turnovers, Towns under turnovers, Edwards under turnovers? Like, why would you click these buttons? We'll get into exactly why, but as you can see, the hit rate's been fantastic. This is going to be the same process I use for all these plays. You can see that one we had a double up, and this one we had a double up. We missed 2 sweeps last night by, once again, 1 pick. So it sucks when that happens. However, if you're able to hit your picks at this high of a rate long term, you're going to be getting a really good return on investment on Prizepicks. You'll hear me talk about that throughout this content as well. If you're able to play all 5 and 6 pick flexes and hit your picks at a 60% hit rate or higher, you're going to get a massive return on investment. So we want to be playing all 5 and 6 pick flexes on Prizepicks. You can see a 43% return on investment if you're hitting at a 60% hit rate under individual picks. On 5 pick flexes and then 6 pick flexes, you're going to get all the way up to a 66% return on investment if you're hitting your picks at a 60% hit rate or higher. Okay, so that's why you want to play all 5 and 6 pick flexes. You can see as you continue along the chart, the 55% range, if you're hitting 55 or higher, you're profiting in the 5 and 6 pick flexes. You're not profiting on the other ones. 4 pick flexes, 4 pick powers, 3 pick flexes, 3-man powers, and 2-mans. All of those entry types, you're not going to profit if you're hitting at a 55% hit rate or higher. While 5 and 6 pick flexes, you are going to profit. So if you haven't signed up for Prizepicks, go ahead and sign up today, guys. Use that promo code KJKDFS. They're going to match you up to $100. And if you enjoy the content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload, and check out the KJK VIP member package if you are interested in getting access to every single one of my picks as soon as I place them every single day. All those plays I just brought up on the screen are sent in right away. There's going to be some bumps, but without further ado, let's go ahead and pull up the 6 pick flex that I locked in here for the WNBA action today. And then we'll break it down. We have a full game stack here. This Connecticut-Minnesota game I really like. So these are the 6 on the screen. And without further ado, let's get into the breakdown. We'll go pick by pick, break down exactly why I like these plays. Let's get into it. So pick number 1 is going to be the Courtney Williams over 5.5 assists. If you go ahead and pull up her charts here on Prizepicks, you can see this one looks nice, pretty, and green, which really means nothing to me. But if you're someone that likes to see someone hitting a prop at a high hit rate, she has certainly done so. She's now playing for Minnesota. And what I really like about this game, big reason why I'm targeting all these props, we got some positive correlation. We also have very condensed and predictable rotations and usage, okay? So these are going to be the 2 starting lineups here for the Connecticut side, the Minnesota side. In this one here tonight, we got Jones, Harris, Carrington, Thomas, Bonner, Jones. Minnesota, we got Smith, Collier, Miller, Williams, and McBride. Williams will be the first we discuss here. First thing that I like to be looking at every single day, right, is market data. If you're not familiar with sports betting, there are millions of dollars invested into setting appropriate lines every single day for betting. And I like to use a couple of tools you hear me talk about here on the channel. The first one is going to be the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. What this is going to do, guys, is this is going to pull in all of this Vegas data that I am discussing from FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, Caesars Sportsbook, Bovada and give us the percentage chance of a prop hitting and also the live lines of a particular prop. So as you can see, they've got Courtney Williams over 5.5 assists as the third best prop available on the board you could take for her. They do like her PRA a little bit more. I like constructing this ticket with the assists because we'll get into the next portion. I do have some points props for some of her teammates, so I like the fact that we can correlate her passing the ball and her teammates getting buckets. But why is this a good prop? We're getting minus 119 implied odds in a 5 or 6 pick flex on Prizepicks. If we were going to FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM, and Caesars, all of these sportsbooks, we'd have to risk more money. FanDuel specifically, FanDuel is a sportsbook with millions of dollars invested into setting appropriate lines. We'd have to risk $132 to win 100 over there on this particular prop. While on Prizepicks and 5 or 6 pick flexes, we're only having to risk 119 per individual pick is the math behind it there, okay? So DGF telling us this is a good prop. 52.22% chance to hit. And the other screen that I really like pulling up here is the OddsJam Sportsbook screen. This is where we're going to get really detailed because you can pull in literally every single sportsbook that is offering a line for Courtney Williams assists. And you can see if we scan this, tons of markets favoring her over. 132 on the over on FanDuel, as we discussed. 125 on the over on Caesars. Ballybet has her up to 132. Sleeper, if we were to head on over to the Sleeper app, which is another, DFS prop fantasy kind of app, they're all the way up to 154 on her over. So they're saying, like, this is way too good of a prop. We are not letting you get this for cheap. We're going to charge you 154. Once again, on Prizepicks, we can get minus 119 in a 5 or 6 pick flex. Okay, guys? So we're getting good value on the prop on the Prizepicks platform. Then you look at a site like a Bet365. They're not one of the sharpest books in the world. However, they are another data point, and they have her all the way up to 6.5, the juice on the under. So they're essentially saying she's going to end with 6 here as well. 135 on the over on ESPN Bet, 135 on the over on the score, 135 on the over on Parlay Play, another DFS app. So you get the point. We have every single one of these data points telling us there's a high likelihood that Courtney Williams is going to record 6 or more assists here tonight. So if you like this OddsJam tool, you can use that promo code KJKDFS to get 35% off. If you like that Daily Grind Fantasy tool, you can use the promo code KJKDFS to get 25% off each of these tools that I'm using. Talking about these data points, right? Nice little bonus if you want to get it. They hooked me up with a promo code to get you that product cheaper. So that will be our first pick on the video today. We're going with Courtney Williams over 5.5 assists. Second pick's going to be that correlation that I'm talking about. Napheesa Collier. She is someone that has massive usage, massive shot volume, and we want to be stacking her up with Courtney Williams tonight here because, like I said, we're going to take the over on Courtney Williams. If she's dishing out those assists, we need her teammates to be making some buckets. We have some good value on this Collier points. She's going to shoot a ton, guys. Last game, she shot 22 times. Opening night, she shot 19 times. So the shot volume's there. It's going to be massive for her. Once again, Courtney Williams, if we're getting those assists, there's a good chance a lot of them are going to be going to Napheesa Collier. And then I brought up the rotations. I believe I did. If I haven't, the rotations for these two teams are just so predictable and solid, which I really like. This game went to double overtime last time, so just put an asterisk next to that one. But we're seeing 31, 31, 29, like all of these players playing 30-plus minutes. Napheesa Collier. We know that the top 4 players in this rotation are Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Napheesa Collier, and Alana Smith. Okay, so there's no messing around. There's no mixing in anyone too crazy. We're getting like 15 minutes for Diamond Miller, like 10 minutes for Alyssa Billy. Nothing crazy here. Okay, so that's obviously fantastic. And then Dorka continues to be out, which is going to open up more minutes and more usage for Napheesa Collier, who, as I stated, is already one of the top players as far as the usage rate. If we go and we look at last season's numbers, we can look at the top leaders in the entire league in field goals attempted per game. You can see Napheesa Collier comes in 4th, trailing only Brianna Stewart, Ogunbale, Jewel Lloyd, with those 16.6 shots per game. So, pick number 2 will be the Napheesa Collier. We will once again have Vegas data that's backing this up. We can go ahead and pull up the OddsJam Sportsbook screen so we can get nice and detailed as far as what the market's telling us on Napheesa Collier's points. And we're going to see there's a lot of data points pointing to her over here once again. She's at 21.5 some places. She's at 22.5 some places. However, the juice on average across all these data points is 123.3 on the over. Once again, we're getting 119 on Prizepicks. You can see she's at 120 on BetMGM, 132 on Sleeper. Once again, if you were to go on over to Sleeper, you're going to have to risk a lot more than if you're locking here in on the Prizepicks app, right? So these are all data points telling us 120, 130 on or over here tonight. And then, like I said, we're getting some good correlation with the fact that we're stacking her up with those Courtney Williams assists. You know, we want her teammates to be making buckets if we're targeting Courtney Williams assists, and Nafisa Collier is going to be the top candidate for that to be racking up those buckets. Okay, for pick number 2. Number 3, Alana Smith is an absolute fantasy point per minute monster. If you're someone that tuned into my WNBA content last year, I really liked Alana Smith a lot of times. And the annoying part about Alana Smith last year was she played for the Chicago Sky, and her minutes were very inconsistent. That has changed massively. This is going to be an absolute cheat code of a prop here for quite some time. They need to adjust this line. She put up 45 and 48 her first couple times, and that is no fluke, guys. She is one of the top steals and blocks leaders in the entire WNBA. And in the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format, the amount of fantasy points that you get on blocks and steals is absolutely absurd. You get 3 points for every block and 3 points for every steal. These are the first 2 games, and I want to repeat. This isn't a fluke, man. She was doing this all last year, and she was not playing these amount of minutes. If we pull up her stats from last year, the top leaders in the entire WNBA in steals, you're going to see Alana Smith came in as number 20 in the league in steals last year, and she put up 1.3 steals and 1.3 blocks per game. Now, keep in mind, she was only playing 26.5 minutes per game. That has skyrocketed up now that she's left. You know, she's no longer on the Chicago Sky roster with a Marina Mabry, Dana Evans, Elizabeth Williams, who's always someone that was cutting into her usages last year. I mean, the minutes are massive. And you put her on the court for mid-30s minutes with her block and steal upside, I'm telling you, this is not a fluke. She's going to be doing this very consistently throughout the season. I use a ton of different projection models that factor in all of these things. And I mean, I've got her projected as one of the top players on the entire slate. I've got her up there with Collier, with Alyssa Thomas, with Brianna Stewart. I mean, I've got her going out there and getting 40-plus fantasy points here tonight. So I absolutely love this prop. I'm hoping it doesn't get taken down and or majorly bumped. Like, I don't know the action that's going to be coming on this fantasy score. I could see them just taking it off the board, honestly. I hope that doesn't happen for your guys' sake. But long story short, man, I love this prop. I'm going to go ahead and put her on the thumbnail right now. I can already tell you because her minutes for opportunities and her blocks and steals upside in this Prizepicks fantasy scoring format is going to be a cheat code. You heard it here first. So if you don't know how the Prizepicks fantasy scoring format works, you get 1 point for every point they score, 1.2 for every rebound they capture, 1.5 for every assist, the 3 points for the blocks and the steals, and the -1s for the turnovers. So, you know, as you saw from the game logs, as you've clearly heard me harp on here for quite some time, because I want to make it clear, like, this is a big deal. She put up 6 blocks last time, man. That game did go to double OT, but the game prior, there was no double OT. She put up 4 blocks, so that's without even getting any rebounds, assists, or points. She's already at 12 fantasy points. I mean, it really is absurd. In the WNBA, there's a lot of blocks, and there's a lot of turnovers, a lot of blocks and steals compared to the NBA. They don't even offer blocks and steals props in Vegas, and for that reason. So, Alana Smith, much larger role on this team than her previous team in Chicago last year. Locked that prop in and feel very confident about it. Then you got Dejani Carrington, another player that's just completely changed from last year as far as her role. She was only playing like 10 minutes a game last year. She's now starting, and once again, she's taken over a huge role for this Connecticut squad. We've seen her play 31, 37, and 36 minutes. If she's going to be playing in the upper 30s minutes, this fantasy score line is simply too low. 28.5, I'd project, you know, she's going to get at least 30, at least a fantasy point per minute when she's out there for that allotment of minutes. She came up short last time against Indiana with a 28.2. If we go ahead and break down her game log in that game, kind of see what went right, what went wrong, you can see 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, 1 steal, 14 points. Like a pretty well-rounded game. She just came up a little bit short. Game prior, her scoring was way up to 21 points. The 1 block, the 1 steal, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. So she's very well-rounded. Those blocks and steals, we could see some more upside with that. She's getting 1 or 2 a game. And last game, she did get in some foul trouble with those 4 fouls, right? So that's going to limit the minutes a little bit, maybe some of the usage out there. She did end up getting a full 36, but point being, her upside's a lot higher. And then once again, I have projections that factor in all these things, right? The blocks, the steals, the minutes, and all that stuff. And I've got her going up there getting the mid-30s. It makes sense. If she's going to play in the mid-30s, she's putting up like right around a fantasy point per minute with all this scoring factored in. I've got her getting like 35, 34 fantasy points. So I want to be taking advantage. Once again, it seems like a good time to jump on these 2 early fantasy score props in both Alana Smith and Carrington. Both in much different roles this year than they were last year with their teams. And then we got another positively correlated play here. Unfortunately, guys, I did get the Alyssa Thomas assist at 7.5. As you can see, she has gotten bumped since I hit the record button on this. So I really wanted to be stacking up her assists with the top usage player in DeWanna Bonner, similar to what I talked about with Courtney Williams and Nafisa Collier. Bumps happen when you get good value. There's a lot of different Vegas data points pointing to Alyssa Thomas's over assists. So Prizepicks went ahead and bumped it. It makes sense. If we go ahead and we pull up the AutoGen Sportsbook screen once again here, you're going to see there's a lot of different data points telling us that she should be favored on the over. She's all the way up to 137.7 average odds. The cheapest possible place you could lock in the over 7.5 on a sportsbook is -130 on DraftKings. She's all the way up to -158 on FanDuel, all the way up to -155 on BetMGM, all the way up to -185 on Sleeper. So that was a fantastic prop I was able to capture this morning with the VIP. Unfortunately, she's been bumped. I would probably avoid the bump and only play a 5-pick flex for the free video, for the free picks. I mean, it sucks, but I can't control those bumps, guys. It just kind of is what it is. As far as a pivot, you could be looking at her fantasy score prop if it's still available. It looks like, yeah, it's 43. That could possibly be a pivot for you guys on this video today. And then her rebounds and assist prop was at 17.5. That got bumped up as well. So you can lock in the fantasy score as a pivot. Unfortunately, I do have the assist for full transparency, and I do have it at 7.5. Okay, guys? So just to make that clear, you know, I cannot control bumps. Once again, the VIP offering is going to give you those tickets as soon as I place them so that you can beat these bumps, because this is going to happen every single day. But I would say you can either just play the 5-pick flex, or you could pivot to her fantasy score. I do have her putting up a pretty large fantasy score here tonight as well. But the official play is going to be on her over 7.5 assists. So if she pushes this number or doesn't cover, you know, just want you guys to know, I got it at 7.5. So unfortunately, we can't play that anymore. It's been bumped. But the DeWanna Bonner points we can play still at 18.5. She's once again one of the top usage players in the entire WNBA. She's once again going to play massive minutes, and she once again positively correlates with the assists. We talked about, I like stacking up the assists for Courtney Williams with Nafisa Collier, because if she's getting assists, there's a good chance they're going to be going to Collier, the top scorer on her roster. Same story can be said here for DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. So I really liked that prop at 7.5. Crazy value to be had on the over there. But anyways, for the official 5th pick that has not been bumped on the video today that you can still lock in, it's going to be DeWanna Bonner, and it's a very similar story here. Predictable usage, predictable shot volume for this roster. She's the top shot volume player on her roster. Once again, one of the top shot volume shooters in the entire WNBA. If we go ahead and we pull up last year's data, she came in as number 12 with 13.7 field goals attempted per game. Shot volume has been up a lot higher than that this year. Usage has gone up even more. If we look at these game logs, you can see she's put up 19 or more shots each of the last 2 times out. 14, 19, 19, put up 22, 22, and 20 points respectively. So she has not gone under 20 points in any of these games. She's converting at a very high rate at the free throw line, which we love to see. 4 for 5, 4 for 4, and 7 for 8. And then obviously we're stacking up an entire game here. So I talked about how I really like the minutes, the usage for all these players. She's playing upwards of 35 minutes. And if this is going to be a high-scoring game, which we do want, comes in with a 162.5 over-under, a 6-point spread. Last thing is this is a massive pace-up game for the Connecticut Sun. If we pull up the pace in the WNBA, the #1 pace team in the entire league is the Minnesota Lynx, the opponent of the Connecticut Sun. So this is going to be a massive pace-up game. It's a plus 6-point spread. The Sun are favored by 6. They're expected to put up the majority of the points in a 162.5 over-under. And a pace-up game means more shot volume, more opportunity. The Sun come in as the dead last team in the entire WNBA with only a 96.2 pace metric. So there's a lot of really good things going on here for the Sun. A pace-up matchup, condensed minutes, condensed usage, and pretty predictable roles, both sides. So you can see with the full 6-pick flex roster construction, I am taking advantage of that predictable usage. We know that Alyssa Thomas is the top assist contributor on consistently contributing in the assist category for the Connecticut Sun. We know that Courtney Williams is consistently dealing out those assists. They're both favored on the over. We know Nafisa Collier and DeWanna Bonner are going to be the two shotgunners on their team, taking the most shots. And then we got two players in Alana Smith and DeJohnny Carrington, both of which are great fantasy point producers that didn't quite see the court for as many minutes last year, that are seeing a massive increase in their minutes. Like I talked about how Alana Smith was only playing like in the 20s. I can go ahead and pull up Carrington's minutes last year as well to round out this video, and then we'll get out of here. She also, like last year, went from being a player that was only playing 17.2 minutes per game. Now she's up to 34.3, okay? So it's a massive difference in the roles for these two ladies. Both have been great fantasy point producers in limited minutes off the bench. Now they've got really solidified rotation minutes and roles on their respective teams. So this is the full 6-pick flex that I am rocking with for the WNBA for my first WNBA ticket, sharing it with you guys here for free on the channel today. Really love these props, being that they're my core 6 and the ones that I really want to be getting the most exposure to. Over to the VIP, we're going ahead with a nice 5-star play rating on this one. A 2-unit play. Once again, though, that was before Alyssa Thomas got bumped. If you're tuning into this content, I would not play bumps. I would recommend either pivoting to her fantasy or just going ahead and playing the 5-pick of the plays that haven't been bumped, okay? But just want to prove I back the plays with my own money. I do send them into my VIP. This is all plays I've done some heavy research on, broke it down for you here throughout the video today. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, it would be greatly appreciated if you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you have not checked out Prizepicks, sign up today. Use that promo code KJKDFS when you do to receive an instant match up to $100. And if you haven't checked out the VIP, I don't know what you're waiting on, man. You're going to get access to every single one of my plays every single day as soon as I place them. There's no NFL going on now. I know that's a huge popular sport. There's no more NBA soon. But do not fear, because we have WNBA and MLB, both sports that I do cover, both sports that I am very knowledgeable in, and I can help you out. Like I said, you see the results last night. Unfortunately, we got hooked twice, but not only am I covering the NBA, I'm covering the MLB, I'm covering the WNBA, and I'm covering... Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. MLB, WNBA, and NBA. So check that out if you're interested. Thanks for tuning in. Wishing you all the best of luck on your Prizepicks WNBA player props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.